exercise increases. There are many different types of curls, which is a weightlifting technique to build your biceps. There are such as the seated barbell curl, the standing barbell curl, and the seated concentration curl, which you use with dumbbells. Today I'd like to show you some of the easy techniques of doing this. First, you must do warm-ups. I take an empty bar and just go through the motion. But first, you must have proper hand placement. Your hands must be on this part of the bar and at your side. If your elbows are not in your side, you may be cheating. You can even cheat this way. And they might put strain on your elbows, which could cause injuries later in life. These exercises should be done slowly. It should not be done fast because it does not give you any effects. Now, first curl I'll show you is the seated barbell curl. I start out with 5-pound weights on both sides and place the collars on. Collars are to keep the weight from falling off. And when you first start as a beginner, don't push it too hard. If you can still prevent any injury even after you've done warm-ups. Again, use the proper hand placement. Sit with your back firmly against the chair. Place your elbows at your hip. Breathe in and pull up to your chest, and breathe out going back down. I usually do these 8 to 10 times, and I do them slowly. This is what I usually start out with, as most beginners start out with this because it's not too straining on your muscles. The next curl I'd like to show you is seated concentration curl. Take a dumbbell. These are 3.3 pounds. These are GP. I got them out at Ames. Probably get like $10 or something. Place your elbow right above your knee. With this hand here, do not fully extend your arm. Otherwise, you will be doing a totally different curl. Extend your arm in this position and pull up. Do this 10 to 15 times if you're using a light weight. You can build the weight if you have different dumbbells. Do those after you've gotten into the curling technique. This builds your muscles faster. And most bodybuilders use this more than the seated barbell curl. And another barbell curl, which is much harder, is the standing barbell curl, which is this one. You stand with your back against the wall, so you will not cheat while doing this, because many people cheat by using their weight to pull it up. Shouldn't do that because you can throw your back out. Place your back against the wall, your elbows at your side. Fully extend your arms, pull up to your chest, breathing in, and breathe out going down. Do this 8 to 10 times. After you've done 1 or 2 sets like that, you should be able to increase the weight, but don't push it too hard. These, again, are just a few of the many bicep building curls. In this book, it shows about 15 pages. And it does not show the seated barbell curl, which my weight trainer has showed me Dad showed me when I first started lifting weights, because like I said, it's not too stressful. And next, we get into bodybuilding. This is the biceps on Mike Ashley. I forget if it was a Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe title he got a couple years in a row. In this magazine, this is the way Mr. Wider teaches his men to build their biceps. This is the barbell preacher curl, which I do not have the equipment to do. And there he shows him doing the standing barbell curl without standing against a wall, which he's probably done it long enough that he doesn't cheat. Just shows the way he builds his biceps. So the next time you look in the mirror and say, look at this skinny biceps, I can't stand this anymore, go to the YMCA or one of the local fitness centers. Give them a proper workout with the basic techniques I just showed you. Any questions?
The illustrious Chef Cook is about to present how to make his sumptuous Bavarian mint chippers.
Do you hate chocolate? Does the mere sight of it make your skin crawl? I didn't think so. The world has had an obsession with chocolate ever since it was introduced to Europe in 1528 from the Aztec Indians. America especially has had an obsession with chocolate, as the average American eats about 10 pounds of chocolate annually. But in 1930, in the gourmet Full House restaurant in Wayne, Massachusetts, a woman named Ruth Wakefield substituted bits of chocolate she'd cut up for nuts in a butter drop-through cookie recipe, expecting them to melt. Much to her surprise, they did not melt, and the chocolate chip cookie was born. Since Nestle's marketed the first chocolate chip, new and improved recipes have popped up, from chocolate chip cookies with yogurt to cookies with wheat germ, taste and texture varies. Baking with chocolate chips is quite an experience, and one of my favorite examples is the Bavarian mint chipper. Today I will teach you how to make the Bavarian mint chipper. Come on in and I'll teach you. The first step in preparing Bavarian mint chippers is to gather the utensils you'll need so you don't have to distract yourself while you're making them. You'll need the following things. You'll need your rubber scraper, spatula, a wooden spoon, 1 spoon, wax paper and a sifter, a bowl, and of course you'll need the clothing. You need your clothing. Now, everyone should wear an apron, and you should preferably have one with a cute saying on it. This one says in French and then in English, "I'm the cook and the cook is never wrong." And then of course you need your authentic chef's hat. And now that you have all the utensils you'll need gathered together, you need to start gathering the ingredients you'll need. You'll need the following things. You'll need 2 1/2 cups unsifted all-purpose flour, and a teaspoon baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt, which is all mixed in here. You'll need a cup of butter. You'll need 3/4 cup brown sugar, and 3/4 cup sugar, 2 eggs, and 1 cup chopped almonds, 1 package of chocolate chips, and you'll need 2 teaspoons of instant coffee powder dissolved in 1 tablespoon of hot water, and 3/4 teaspoon mint extract, which is all mixed in here. And now that you have all your ingredients that you need to gather and your utensils, you can begin to prepare your cookies. First, you must wash your hands at all times because no one likes an unclean chef. But before I begin, I'd like to pass out the recipe so that everyone can follow along with what I'm doing as I'm doing it. thing that you need to do to prepare your cookies is to sift together your flour, your baking soda, and your salt. You can do this simply by taking a piece of wax paper, like so, sticking your sifter on top, and pouring all your ingredients right in there. And then, if you have one with a handle like this, you just turn it clockwise or counterclockwise. And if you don't, you just hit it on the side. You're sifting to make the flour and this mixture nice and airy so that your cookies don't get tough and you get out the lumps. And when there's nothing left, like in there, you put this aside and you have sifted these ingredients together. Now the next thing you do, once you have that put together, is you'll need to beat together in your large bowl. You need to beat together the butter, this is why we have a spatula. Get the butter out of here, and it must be softened, but softening is very easy. All you do is set it out or put it in the microwave, and you don't want to melt the butter, you just want to soften it. So you butter with both your sugars, your brown sugar and your other sugar. And then you want to take a wooden spoon and beat this up real nice. It's a little dry, but you gotta beat it up so that it's all mixed together. Beat this up so that there's no brown sugar that you can see or that no butter. Up real good. Butter seems to be a little lumpy today. And now that you have this mixed together fairly well, the next thing you'll need to do is to add the eggs. Now, in this recipe, I'm putting all the ingredients in half since I don't have all the stuff I need. So this is just one egg, even though the recipe calls for 2 eggs. And you want to put the egg in there, and it doesn't look real good when you do this. It's sort of a yellow gob. Yes, disgusting. If people say that cooking is no good for you, all you do is get fat and meat. But baking for yourself can sometimes be a healthy thing. When you're beating these things up, it really builds some forearm strength. Stuff gets pretty tough. So I have to beat it up real good. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't look too good. Beat it up real good. That's nice and thick. And now you have the eggs beaten in with your butter and your sugars. Next, you add your mint extract and your coffee, which is this. You'll add that in there, pour it around nice and even. And again, you're going to beat this up real evenly. You want it real even so that a nice mixture of the cookie. You don't want too much flavor of mint and not enough of coffee. So that it looks something like this. And now that you have that mixed together, you're going to add your dry ingredients, which we sifted before. Now if you wanted to do this right, you would add the flour and a little bit at a time so that the cookies are nice and fluffy. But for lack of time, we'll just dump them all in there. Now some people like to use electric beaters, but I like to use a hand to beat it by hand with a wooden spoon, because there's 2 things you can do when you're beating with electric beaters. You can overbeat the cookies, which makes them real tough when they come out, or you can underbeat them and it's not thoroughly mixed. So you want to beat this up real good by hand. You could use an electric beater if you want to. It doesn't really matter, as long as it gets mixed up somehow. But if you take my advice, I would beat it by hand. It's real tough. That's why it's good practice here. And it'll look like nice cookie batter, like that. Now that you have this all mixed in with the flour, next thing you want to do is add your chocolate chips and your nuts. Now again, I'm using half the recipe. so I'll use half this bag. Now, the chocolate chip, you can use any kind of chocolate chip. These are Hershey milk chocolate chips. You can use semi-sweet, sweet, bitters, or any kind of chocolate chips will work. Pour about half of that in here. And this is 1/2 cup chopped almonds, or on the recipe it would say 1 cup chopped almonds. This is the meat of your cookie, chocolate chip and the nuts. This is what gives it the most flavor. And you want to just beat this so it's nice and even. There's as many chocolate chips on the bottom as there are on the top. So it's nice, and now your cookie dough is complete. That is exactly how it should look. Okay, now that we have that all together, the next thing we want to do is to prepare them for baking. Now, right now, you should preheat your oven to 375. And you want to use your teaspoon. You're going to dip your batter little blotches on the cookie pan here. The cookie pan must be greased. You should grease it beforehand, or the cookies will stick to it and it'll be a real mess. So you just dip these on here. You can rows of 3, rows of 4. Usually you can get 3 cookies in a row and 12 cookies on a pan. So once you get this done, this will be my oven. Just want to set that in there. Sit it in the oven at 375 for 8 to 10 minutes or until they're golden brown. Now, once you have them in the oven, there are a couple things you can do. If you listen to your mother, you can go clean up your dishes, but that's not for me. I'll just like leaving them there and hoping someone else will come along and clean them up. Or you can go back over it, check your recipe, and make sure you have all your flour and all your sugars in it, and everything's beaten together. Or, if you're like me, I enjoy, make sure the cookies come out just perfect. You can watch the cookies as they bake. This is what I'll do there. Okay, what? Oh, ow! Oh boy, they're hot. First priority in Joe's kitchen is always safety. So whenever you take a hot pan out of the oven, always use a hot pad or a oven glove or whatever. See, mine has a little bear on it. It's my sister's. So now we take out the cookies. And boy, they look really scrumptious. And now you can just take them off and put them on your cooling rack and let them cool for 3 or 4 minutes if you have the patience to do that, or just eat them hot. And they'll make a delicious treat for anyone to eat. Now that I have showed you how to prepare these cookies, I am assured that all of you can prepare Bavarian mint chipper cookies as well as any other type of chocolate chip cookies. By gathering your necessities and preparing your recipe, anyone can prepare Bavarian mint chippers. Famous Amos, possibly the most famous chocolate chip cookie baker in the world, ever in the world, once said, "Encourage your cookies as they bake. Talk to them and watch them closely. It might be necessary to turn the tray around if your oven bakes unevenly. Give your cookies love, and they'll grow to be very pretty and tasty. Good luck, and have a very brown day." So, if you give your cookies some love and affection, they can satisfy the chocolate urges that, let's face it, we all have. So good luck, and have a very brown day.
Listen to the radio week or whatever they're talking about. Play. Well, here is the famous Chad Griner to show us how to play his bass.
Bass originated from the largest member of the string family, the bass viol. It was 6 feet tall and played with the bow at the beginning of jazz when they started to pluck the strings. Plucking the strings set the beat and propelled the music forward. This brings me to what I want to talk about today, electric bass. Things you'll need when just starting to play is bass, an amp, a chord, and if you don't use your fingers, a felt pick. tuning keys, 4 heavy strings, 2 knobs for bottomless tone and topless for volume. And these things right here are called pickups. They give the basis unique sound. I have to have this strap here. It's a special strap made for the bass. It has little things here that snap into place, because a regular strap is just like a loop that goes over the post here, and if the bass is so heavy, it tends to rip those out, and then you'll lose it where you're playing. A couple things you need to know about taking care of the bass is you have to clean it up. You have to clean all the fingerprints off of it, keep it clean. Don't let any dust and stuff on it. It not only looks better, it helps it to last longer. Another thing you gotta do is keep it in a warm, dry place, because coldness and dampness can bow the wood and stuff, and it screws everything up. When you're hooking it up, I like to take it back to the strap, hook it up down here, so it doesn't put as much stress in the cord here. And just push the power switch, you're all ready to play. A couple things you need to know about playing is your strings. The first one is E, then A, then D, and then B. And you have to know your first few frets here, which is open E, F, G, A, B, C, there's a line. And eventually you'll develop your own unique style, and you'll learn how to play a song, which I'm going to do now. Someday, if you ever decide you want to play some kind of instrument, I hope this will help you decide to play a bass. Any questions?
Very nice. You survived. Okay, everybody, you're going to have to make your evaluation. Somebody please then help Hills and Coop. Hills, those cookies are dynamic.
I'd like to introduce Brent Bastian. He will be demonstrating different football positions and reading the football positions.
How many of you like to watch football, but do not understand what is going on, like who is playing where and why they're playing there? Hopefully this is not the case, because if it is, you probably will not understand what is going on. So So for all you fans out there, I'd like to show you the basic football positions. We'll start with the offense. Probably the most important part of the offense or the defense is the line. The line are probably the biggest people on the field, and they're the most important because they have to do all the hard work, like block for everyone. There's 5 or 6 linemen usually, and draw them on the chalkboard. Have them beat the center. Guard. Tackle. Anything like that. The next would be the running backs. Running backs are not nearly as big, but they're a lot quicker, and they also need to be strong like the linemen. So they have to avoid tacklers and be able to run past people. Running backs use many ways to avoid tackles. And I'm going to use Matt Fargo as my dummy to avoid tackles. The first one's probably the easiest, and you just use it, they call it a straight arm. And some other things would be you can like try some fakes and stuff, but usually they don't work. And running backs should go out of here. Also with the running backs or the quarterback, he's probably what you call like the head of the team. He calls all their plays, make sure everybody knows what they're doing, where they're going, and everything. He goes right here behind that center. Then after the running backs, there would be the wide receivers. These people are probably some of the smallest guys on the field. They can be anywhere from 5'6" to over 6 feet in height. They're probably one of the fastest people on the field, though they need to be fast to outrun all the defensive backs. They must also have good hands to catch the football. And there you go. Again, we'll start with the line. Again, they're probably the biggest people on the defense. The defensive line, there's only 3 linemen in basic defense. You have your nose guard, it's right in the middle. You have your end. You have another end. That's the basic defensive line. A defensive lineman, their job is mainly to get to the quarterback and cause problems for him. Cause problems for him, usually everything else will go wrong too. Defensive line has a couple of techniques I show you that they use to get to the quarterback. First one is probably, I don't know, maybe the easiest. They call it the swim. You hit the guy inside and come up over him like that. It doesn't work on everybody, but for dumb people it does. And they can also spin, like when they get a big block, they get inside of them, like the running backs do. Next are the linebackers. They're also fairly big in size, but they also have to be quick because they have to keep up with the running backs and sometimes even cover wide receivers. They're also big because they have to take on the line or anybody and anything that comes near them. Set them up. Some teams have 3, some teams have 4. These 2 over here, they call them the outside linebackers because they play against outside everybody else. And you have your inside linebackers. This would be your, going back to the defensive line, this would be your nose guard. This would be your end. This would be your end. This would be your linebackers. The last position I'll show you are the defensive backs. Again, these guys are very small too, like the wide receivers, but that's probably because they're used to cover the wide receivers. The defensive backs are probably the fastest people on the field. They are usually running all over the place. basically 4 defensive backs. You have a cornerback like Lonnie, he covers the wide receivers. We have 2 cornerbacks. You have 2 safeties. Now that I've shown you the basic offensive and defensive positions, I hope you can understand the game better. And if you have any questions, you can ask.
Okay, BB.
All right, it's in. Go ahead. We're ready.
Alright.
Yep.
I would like to introduce to you Heather Oliver, although she's not in her place right now. And she's going to make this quick biscuit.
Timer.
Are you tired of having plain bread with your dinner? Or do you ever get a craving for Kentucky Fried Chicken biscuit? Well, this quick drop biscuit satisfies both of these questions along with other suggestions. You can use them as part of the meal, such as chicken and gravy over biscuit, or just to have them at the table to eat. This quick biscuits are quick and easy to make. First step is gathering your necessary ingredients, utensils. You'll need a large mixing bowl, a wooden spoon, dry and liquid measuring cups, and a cookie sheet. Next, you'll need your ingredients. You'll need 2 1/3 cup biscuit, 2/3 cup water, and a 1/4 cup melted butter. Now you have options. You can, instead of using 2/3 cup biscuit and the 2/3 cup water, you can use 2 cups of biscuit and 2/3 cup milk. It all depends when you melt the water around. Now, following my recipe, which Glenda is going to pass out to you, now is the final step. First, you will mix biscuit and water. When doing this, if the mixture gets too dry or if it's too sticky, you add water if it's too dry, or you add more biscuit if it's too sticky. Let's make sure all the clumps are out. Okay. When you're done doing this, you take an ungreased cookie sheet and you drop spoonfuls onto the cookie sheet. When you're done, you should have 12 to 15 biscuits. When you're done with that, you'll take your melted butter and spoon a little bit on top. This will give it a butter flavor, sort of. It should anyway. This is an option. You don't have to do this. When you're done with that, you'll bake them at 450 for 10 to 12 minutes, or until they are lightly brown. Now that I've shown you how to make these biscuits, you will have them to eat with your dinner or just as a snack. Just remember, quick drop biscuits are quick and easy to make. And I'll have some for you to make.
Okay, good.
Now I would like to introduce to you someone who's going to show you how to make a tasty treat, toast pizza. Here's Chris Long.
Have you ever come home from school and you're hungry? Well, this is probably because the school had such bad food and the fries were cold or something like that. Well, you call for your mom and no one answers you. So you're saying to yourself, what could I have to eat? Well, today I will show you a quick and easy way to fill that hunger. Making toast pizza is a wholesome and filling snack. First, you only need 2 utensils, a spoon, and a knife. Next, you only need a few ingredients. Bread, which is toasted, sauce, and cheese. Now this cheese can be either mozzarella or just cheese that you cut up that's in the refrigerator, whatever you have. Okay. Finally, I will show you how to make this scrumptious treat. First, you put the bread in the toaster and toast it, but for the purpose of this demonstration, it's already toasted. So then, next, you take your spoon and put on the pizza sauce. Now, you can put on however much pizza sauce you want on, depending whatever you prefer. Next, take the cheese and you put it on. Now, when you put on the cheese, this can be different. You can make different arrangements, like such as faces, things like that. And you, again, you just put on whatever you, how much ever you want. Then you put it in the microwave or an oven until the pizza sauce is warm and the cheese melts. Then the finished product will look something like this. Then to serve it, I like to cut it up in fours, but you can cut it up however you want to, or you can also just eat it just when it's in one piece. So, these are the ingredients you would need when you decide to make it. Pizza sauce, cheese, and bread. So, the next time you come home from school and you say, what's good to eat? Remember, make toast pizza the wholesome and filling snack. Are there any questions?
You! Get it? It's not on, is it? Get it?
I'll leave me alive.
Can we get started now?
Yes. Okay, today we have Mike Myers to demonstrate to us how to make a delicious Chef Boyardee Italian pizza.
Well, you've heard of the Jane Fonda workouts and all the other workout things, but my personal favorite and most nutritious has to be the Chef Boyardee workout. Because hey, friends, you not only get to work out, but you also get to have a great nutritious snack that you can put your own toppings on. First, some utensils you need. You need a plain old simple bowl. You need a pan. Of course, you may have silver pans, but I painted mine brown. You'll need a fork, and you also need a spoon. You'll need a nice measuring cup. And something a container for hot water and a timer. Okay, first then you also have to use some ingredients here. You'll need some Crisco cooking oil, and I may tell you this is pure vegetable oil too. And you'll need some Crisco vegetable oil or grease. You'll need the old Chef Boyardee pepperoni pizza mix, because this is the good stuff. And of course, now it's time to cook it up. Alright, you take the old bowl and you get your handy dandy flour mix out of here. And you rip it open. You gotta be careful because there's a little bag in here. Sometimes it rips and the flour comes all over whatever you're cooking. And this takes a little moment. Get this out. But anyway, while you're doing this is why it's called the Chef Boyardee workout. Because this really strengthens your abdominals and gives you that V shape to your form. But anyway, you get the crust finally, and look at the prize inside the bottom of the box, kids. A nice pack of dough. And you take the dough out, you just simply pour it straight down in there. And it makes a nice, sort of a snow mountain. And then you take some of your warm water here. You gotta be careful the way you pour it in the measuring cup. You gotta get exactly a half cup. I mean, if you just get it over just a little bit over the half cup mark, it's no good. Okay, so then you pour that in there. Now take your good old 4-pointed fork and you start mixing it up. And I might add that this builds up the biceps and the triceps again. Also, this muscle in the trapezius. Okay, so you keep on stirring it, and this is a very, very sticky mixture. And you don't want to put your hands down in this stuff quite yet, because it'll get on your hands, and you'll end up having more dough in your hands than in the pizza. So then you really, really stir it up, and the stuff's not quite get sticky. So you add just a little bit more water. I must not have quite half a cup. Then you add the half a cup of water, stir the old fork up, and you try to pack it into sort of a ball shape. And once you have it in a ball shape, see, it does get sticky. Once you have it in ball shape, you take your Crisco oil. Might I add, it's pure vegetable oil. And you take your tablespoon, and you just take a tablespoon of this. And pour it on there. Simple as that. And then once it's down in there, you got to try to sort of swish it around so the whole bowl gets mixed in. Because you don't want just a little bit of dough getting out. Now it's safe to touch, of course. And once you got this touched, or once you have it all in a nice little bowl shape, wipe your fingers off and get the wax paper or your saran wrap or any other particular way to call it. But take it out, and rip that off, and you put it on down there, and you let it sit 5 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, while this is raising, you can quickly take a pan, a nice brown pan, and take your Crisco grease. And this, mind you, this is made of the finest all-vegetable sugar. And you take your hands, just get your hands right down into it. It's the only good way to do it. And go in a 2-throw motion all around the pan. And you want to get this real nice and greasy, almost to where you can see the glare off. And you don't want to get too much on this because your pizza will slide around while you're making it. Okay, then you wipe your hands off again. And you put your Crisco grease away. Then while you do that, you have to open up the sauce mixes. So we have our cheese. This is our sprinkled cheese. And this is our pizza sauce with pepperoni inside of it already, so you don't have to put everything in. But of course, you can also use other toppings. If you want vitamin C, just put oranges on it. If you want iron in your diet, I suggest the Daisy Air Rifle little pellets. If you want to die of poison or anything, just put grapes on it. It's real easy to make. So we come back to Mr. Can Opener here, and we say, "Oh, Mr. Can Opener, please open my cheese." So what do you know? Don't open it for us. This is where your abdominal muscles come in once again. And still fight with the machine because, hey, you're not giving up. And it's really simple to do. But, well, this is what usually happens. So you have to take your fork and you pry off the lid. Now, I know some of you are laughing. Oh my God, Myers, you're messing up this speech. But no, this is planned. See, now that you got a little slit coming out, you can simply pour the cheese that way. Now you need your sauce mix, which is usually an easier one to mix up. And you take old Mr. Canover and say, please, Mr. Canover, be nicer, okay? And what do you know? It certainly is gonna, hey, it actually worked. Okay, and then you got your pizza sauce out. Wash the lid because you could cut yourself when you drink it. And you find out you still got about 2 minutes to go here. But hey, 2 minutes is 2 minutes, and that's 2 minutes too long. So you take your dough here, and you wanna play with your dough for a little bit. It's a real neat technique. Here, catch. Okay, but then you can also play pizza maker. Get your hands go. Then you simply get it down and sort of try to make a valley shape like. And this is your own pizza, so you can make your own work of art. And it can be in the shape of a dog, in the shape of a person, in the shape of an island, anything. Just as long as you want to mush it out and then start curling up the corners of it. Because if not, your sauce will leak out and start to fry in the pan. That burns and really makes a mess. Then you take your sauce, and you just pour it. It looks like it's splishing around, but it really is. And if you can see, there are little itty bitty pepperonis. Can you see it? Very good. Now then, after you put the sauce in, you sprinkle your cheese in. And just sprinkle cheese around again. While you already have your oven preheated to 425 degrees. Okay, then once you got this, you think, geez, this is going to be the greatest pizza. So you put it in your oven, square pan in the oven, and suddenly, it turns out to be a round pan with a great pizza that's already done. So remember, that's just a little timer. So remember, if you're thinking, geez, I want to go work out, but then you're thinking, wow, I'm sort of hungry. Just do this Chef Boyardee workout, and you'll be fit and on your way to a greater day. And as Chef Boyardee said, no pain, no gain. And eat a little bit of pizza. Thank you.
I guess we'll have to send him to Saturday Night Live. Jay, I'm going to put you and Hills together. You can have your pizza and cookies.
Onto the bill.
That's what you
Please make your evaluations. When you are finished, how about make 4 separate piles for your 4 speakers and put them on that desk in front of Paulie?
Hello.
Yes, we did.
Prophecy is a rebel.
Stop, there's no green light. Anyway.
Wait a minute.
It's on.
Okay.
Shh. The boy we're about to see is a rebel. He's a loner. He's a skateboarder. He's got much trouble about this. People call him the skate faggot. Today he's going to teach us how to do a skateboard.
Skateboarding. A fad. Well, yes, but a passing fad, I don't think so. Skateboarding's been around since the early 1950s when it started in California.
developed from surfing, which involved similar skills to skateboarding, and soon became a popular form of recreation, and I think it's here to stay. Skateboarding has grown into enormous heights in which the skateboarding business is a very highly profitable one. Now, I know all of you, well, at least some of you, have stood on some kind of skateboard, whether a Back to the Future or a Nash skateboard. But no matter what kind, skateboard maintenance and usage is basically the same. Now, right now, first I'd like to show you the basic parts of the skateboard. The main part of the skateboard is the body, the deck. That's the meat of the skateboard. Then we have the trucks, which hold the wheels to the board. And the wheels, and bearings, which give the board its mobility. Now, and then after that, after you have all your parts, you need to have the right tools to put together your skateboard. You need a screwdriver or a Phillips head, and 9/16, 1/2, and a 3/8 wrench, and possibly a pair of pliers if things get going really fast. Now, a couple steps in skateboard maintenance is that you should always keep all of your screws on your skateboard screwed tightly to a skateboard to cause unwanted damage to you or your skateboard. Now, the bearings should always be greased and should be very, very fast, so they move fast like these, like that. Spin very fast. Some things you don't want to do in skateboarding are subject your skateboard to unwanted bangs or throwing it down constantly, excessive throwing down, or maybe getting it run over by a car. I've had that come to me a couple times. You don't want that. Or leaving it out in the rain. That's another bad thing. Now, you want to keep your bearings in your skateboard, keep them solidly in there so they're not jiggling around or anything. You want to keep your wheels tight to the trucks so they don't jiggle. And then so next time you plan to get your skateboard out and go for a little spin, remember the things I told you. But right now I'd like to show you a couple people that didn't listen to Justin's rules, and you'll see what happened to them.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to be a skillful hockey player, field hockey player? Well, here today is our female jock, Tammy Works, to explain it to us.
What's it say? I forget. Can't go again?
No.
Oh. According to the World Book Encyclopedia, the origin of field hockey is not known. By Greek carving, it showed ancient Greeks using curved sticks to hit small objects. And only men played field hockey at first, but in 1889, the All England Women's Hockey Association was formed. Men's field hockey has been an Olympic sport since 1908, but women's field hockey has only been in the Summer Games since 1980. And today I'd like to show you how to do a few simple field hockey maneuvers.
dribbling, driving, push passing, scooping, flicking, Y dodging, and reverse stick dodging. Okay. When you're going to dribble the ball, you have to hold the stick about halfway down and about somewhere around the top. And not all on the back, because if you bend in the back, it's going to put a lot of pressure there. So you have to bend in your legs too. And you just run behind the ball, or you just make short little taps to hit the ball, to dribble. And then another technique you should learn is how to drive. But since there's not enough space in here, I'm not really going to hit the ball hard. So you just stand like you're going to hit the golf ball or something, and you back swing. But if you bring it above your waist, it's dangerous kicking. You have to keep it where you're not going to hit the ball. And it's supposed to go really hard, but since we don't have enough space, we can't really do that. Okay. Another technique is push passing. Kind of the same as driving, except it's not as hard, and you don't hit the ball, you just push it. You get in the dribble position and just push the ball. Your other person's there to get the ball. Thank you. Okay. Outside, the grass is going to be different than the floor, and when you scoop and flick the ball, it's going to go higher because you can get the stick under the ball. But in here, I don't think it's going to get off the ground because it's flat. But another technique is scooping. You stand behind the ball, and you place your hands out this position, and you get under the ball, and you try to lift it up. But since there's no grass to get under the ball, it's not going to go in the air. Another technique is flicking. It's kind of like scooping, except it doesn't go higher than the knee area. And you stand beside it, and not behind it. And you flick it, and it goes up. Yep, it's something. Stand first. Okay. Next technique would be dodging, Y dodging. So when you have an opponent that's coming towards you and you want to dodge them, dribble up and pass the ball around them and go the opposite way and pick up the ball, and they don't know what happened. And another dodge would be reverse stick dodging. So when you dribble towards the person, put the stick over it and push it out to the side and pick up the dribble and go around them. And these are two dodges. And now that I've shown you a few simple techniques, you should be able to understand while watching the sport. And
Very special treat for you all. We have the banana chef, Miss Andrea Rudisell, to make her banana bread for everyone.
Throughout the years, banana has been taken for granted. There are so many interesting and nutritious ways to prepare them. You've all heard of dry bread, sweet bread, white, but there are other ways to prepare banana also. And you usually put your bananas on peanut butter bread, on cereal, or on banana split. But today I would like to show you how to make banana bread. First you'd like to get your utensils. You need a large mixing bowl, spoon, and a greased 9x6 split pan. And your ingredients are 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 cup of margarine or shortening, which I'm using shortening, 2 eggs, and 1 cup of mashed bananas. That's usually, depending on the size of your bananas, it's usually about 2. Now, let's start. First, you combine your 2 cups of flour, your 1 cup of sugar, and your shortening. make sure that your bananas are not rotten, but they want to be brown, because if you use fresh bananas, they're harder, and when you try to mash them, they just break up into chunks. Instead of softer bananas, they get into more smooth consistency, and it helps to make the banana go all through the mixture. Once you get that mixed up, you want to add your baking powder and your baking soda. Once you have that mixed, you want to put it into your little pan, bottom grease on it. Insert a knife in the center and it comes out clean. And you can serve it plain, or you can put butter or any kind of jam or preserve on it, like you prefer. And now that I've shown you how to make your prepared banana bread, I hope that you'll understand how easy and fun it can be to make. Even the worst of cooks can make this because it has simple ingredients and is takes longer to make it. I think it's worth the wait. And so the next time you're sitting at home and you want a snack, just make something different and make banana bread.
Let's go.
Do you like lasagna? If you do, today Renee Longenberg will be making her rigatoni and cheese casserole.
If you love lasagna, but hate getting the time out to make it, I have a recipe that is not only easy, but also tastes just as good, if not better, than lasagna. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare rigatoni cheese casserole. It's not only a delicious recipe, but it's also nutritious. It has 4 basic food groups, and also you can change the fat content to your liking. For example, you can change the skim milk from fat milk, or you can change the cheese to low-fat mozzarella cheese, and the sauce you can make homemade, which usually contains no fat. The first thing you have to do to prepare to make this rigatoni cheese casserole is to get your utensils in use so you don't have to try to get them when your hands are all hot. You need your spatula, your spoon. I use a wooden spoon also. A flipper to cut up the meat, and the juice out, and a knife. The first thing that you'd like to do is get all your ingredients together and measure them out. You need 8 ounces of spaghetti sauce without meat, rigatoni noodles, as before, rigatoni noodles, mozzarella cheese, grated cheese, onion and garlic. You can use the garlic, or I also add the garlic already minced if you don't want to buy a regular piece of garlic. It only costs 9 cents, so it's not that bad. And you can also use hamburger, which I use Venison because that's low on fat. And you also need the cottage cheese. Now, the cottage cheese you can get in low fat form if you want to produce a more nutritious meal. The first thing you want to do is to grind your beef. You need a you want to take your onions and garlic, mince them up, and put them into the skillet of the beef to stew it so they can get the flavor. As you're doing that, you want to take your rigatoni noodles and put them in a large pan full of water and boil them until they are done. Now, usually I tell if they're done after I want from the refrigerator, but it doesn't work only with spaghetti. So you more or less have to taste them when they're suitable for you. Next, you want to take your cottage cheese. You need 16 ounces of cottage cheese and half a cup of milk. I use a little bit less milk so it's not as runny. You want to stir this together and just, I more or less put it in different bowls so it's easier to get to it. Okay, once you have everything prepared that you want to take your cheese. If you get the full pack, you want to grate that up. And grated cheese. Take the noodles in a bowl like this. And you want to add your cream cheese to it. Cottage cheese to it. And milk. Okay? Like I said before, you can use a more low-fat form in almost any of this. So it doesn't really matter, it's up to you what it tastes, your opinion on taste. Okay, when you have this stirred up like that, you want to put it on the bottom of the casserole. This casserole dish doesn't have to be greased. And while you're doing this, you should also put your oven on 350 to get that ready for your casserole. You want to layer this out on the bottom as thin as possible. So it's more or less, it's layered look. Okay, like this. There should be more noodles and cheese. Basic idea. Next you want to take your skillet of hamburger, which should be on the oven, and also your onion and garlic. You're going to put them in a bowl. You want to take all the grease out of the hamburger that you can get out of. Sauce will be running on greasy. This is a little bit froze here, but it'll do. Okay. Next, you should have this on the oven too. In fact, you should put this in the hamburger when doing this. I put it in 2 separate ones and then added this later. Also, you can take your onion and garlic, and you don't have to add that until later to keep more crisp the onions. But if you'd rather the onions be in the hamburger and get the taste into the hamburger, then you can do it that way also. Okay, so as this would really be the skillet on the oven warming up. But since we don't have all the utensils, not utensils, but oven today, we're just gonna do it this way. Okay. As you're doing this on the stove, you can also add your salt and pepper if you like. That's up to you. The recipe calls for it, but it's really up to your taste. So you can add a little bit of pepper and salt. I usually don't add, but if you like, you can. I also added garlic sauce. If anybody likes garlic sauce, if you have our sauce already in here. And then the onion. If you don't get onion, you can use minced onion or minced garlic. After this simmers for 10 minutes on the stove, you want to add it to your noodles. No, you don't. Okay, I messed up on this one too. You want to add your mozzarella cheese over the noodles before you put the sauce on. Or you can put the sauce on and add mozzarella cheese, but it's going to get greasier on the top. So you want to put the mozzarella cheese on first. They recommend a half a cup, but if you love cheese like I do, I just put a whole bunch on at one time, so it looks satisfying. Then you want to put the sauce on top of this and layer this out as flat as possible. Okay, you get it like this. And then once this is done, you want to add your grated cheese on top of it. And like grated cheese, I add cottage cheese and noodles on top again, your mozzarella cheese, then your sauce, and then your grated cheese one more time. You're going to put this in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes, and when that's done, it should come out like this. Now this casserole, the mozzarella cheese should be underneath, like I did on this demonstration. I used it on top. Okay. So then next time you want something easy to prepare and also have before basic food groups, I hope you remember my recipe and use your cheese and casserole recipe.
I used to use garlic salt all the time.
I was thinking about
Get home.
it's up to you guys. Because I have this one too. Go ahead.
Nun, wir haben Rems und sie machen eine wunderbare Pudding cake. Now we'll have Rems making a wonderful pudding cake.
Okay. Have you ever gotten tired of eating just a plain ordinary cake? Why not jazz it up a little? Why not add different toppings or different kinds of icing or something? For instance, by adding pudding to a cake, you can make something plain ordinary cake into something extraordinary. Today I'd like to show you how to make a cake that not only has pudding through it as well as on top of it. First thing you need to do is get your utensils. You need a large mixing bowl, small mixing bowl, a wooden spoon, spatula, and a 9x13 cake pan. Then you need to get your ingredients. You need 4 cups of milk, a cup of confectionate sugar, a half a bag of chocolate instant pudding mix, and a box of instant vanilla pudding mix, and grease, and 2 eggs. Now to prepare it, you have to take your cake mix that you use, and you have to follow the directions that it says on the box, because every cake is different. And this one, you have to mix the mix with 2 eggs and 1 1/3 cups of milk. And you want, or 1 1/3 cups of water. And then you want to beat this for about 3 minutes. And you beat it slowly, and you get all this stuff. Make sure it's mixed thoroughly, and you have everything off the sides and everything. You want to keep going around the edges so you have it all thoroughly mixed and everything. And then once you have it mixed, you grease your pan, because if you don't, then the cake will stick to it. And take your spatula, and you put the cake mix into the pan. And then while you're doing this, you should have your oven on to 350, so it preheats. You want to spread it out evenly so it's not thicker in one spot than it is in the other. And then you put this in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. And then once it comes out, as soon as it comes out, you should take your wooden spoon. I don't have one, the regular cake, because I had to put the icing on while the cake was hot. And you just take your spoon, and at 1-inch intervals, you would poke holes down through it. And then you would take your small mixing bowl and have your 4 cups of milk, and 1 cup boric sugar, and you would mix that. And then you want to add your vanilla pudding. that over your cake while it's still thin, so it goes down, runs down into the holes. And then for about 15 minutes, you just let rest of the pudding thicken, and then swirl it onto your cake. And once it's all done, it should come out like this. And then you would chill it for about an hour, and then serve it. And now that I've showed you how to make a pudding cake, you can change a plain, ordinary cake into something extraordinary.
Blah, blah.
Did you ever feel like if you didn't get a drink that you were just about to die, and you didn't feel like you wanted to drink plain, ordinary water or milk? Well, here's Vicki to show you how to make a new, exciting fruit punch. Have you ever felt that there was too much sugar or salt in your mixed fruit drink, or that it was too expensive? I feel that the fruit drinks being sold today are not as nutritious as we would think. So I'm going to show you this quick and easy recipe that's nutritious for you, so I save money on to make. The first thing is that you will need to get your ingredients. You'll need 7-Up, 2 cans of 6-ounce pineapple juice, or 1 12-ounce can, 12 ounces of orange juice, and 12 ounces of cranberry juice. You will need 1 lemon cut in slices, which I have already done, and you will need 1 cup of sugar, which I have here. You will also need 1/2 cup of water. You will need your utensils next, which are 1 wooden spoon, 1 2-quart container, 1 liquid measuring cup, and glasses. First, you pour your juices into the container. It doesn't matter which you pour in first, just so that you get them all in. And be careful because they will splash when you're pouring it. You can change your ingredients. You do not need to use cranberry juice and if you do not like, or orange juice. You could use apple juice or grape juice or grapefruit. It doesn't really matter. If you like a mixture of grapes and cranberry, you get grapes and cranberry and then add apple to it. This makes a very good and nutritious drink, as well as what I am making today. Once you get this juice all poured into the container, you want to add your 1 cup of sugar. After adding your sugar, stir very well so that you can mix up the sugar and it dissolves well. After doing this, pour in your 1/2 cup of water slowly so it does not splash again. And you mix it well again. Once you have done this, you can add your 7-Up to your container, which I will do today, or you can save it and add it to the glass as you pour the juice into glass. You don't need that much, just about a half of 1 container, 1 liter container, or a little more than that. It depends what you feel like. Stir this mixture so that it spreads out evenly. You don't need to 7-Up, but it does give it a good taste. After this, you chill until you're ready to serve.
Alright, it's on.
Thanks.
And now, introducing probably the best fisherman in this class, Matt Vardo.
Have you ever cast your rod out over a seemingly clear stream and found out that your hook is snagged on a huge rock at the bottom of that stream? Or, better yet, have you ever whipped back your pole ready to cast it your line out, found out your line's all tangled up in the tree behind you? Well, if you have done this, you probably ripped and pulled your line until your whole line falls off. Then, after that, you finally realize you're going to have to put a whole new line back on. Now, if a friend's not with you, or that friend's busy, you're going to have to sit out for a while. But, not if you know how to line your own line. Doing this can be very complicated for beginners to do, but it gradually becomes easier as you get used to it. Knowing how to line your fishing rod is a very important thing. It's a very important thing you need to know if you want to be a good fisherman. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. But first, I'm really going to show you the equipment you need. You need sinkers, which are little things to put on the end of the line. You need snap swivels to keep your line straight, tacking. You need a hook. And bait. And I got some live bait with me today. Here's some. Well, now I'm going to show you step by step how to line your rod. First of all, the first thing you have to do is make sure that you have enough line to work with. Then you have to open the reel guard, let enough line out, and close it so it stays. And then the next thing you have to do is probably the hardest thing to do. You have to tie a knot. Even if you know how to do this, it could be hard to do because you have to get it right in the right place. The best thing to do is twist it up so it doesn't come apart. Make a little loop about right there, about that big. And put that back over. And you got a little loop. Next thing you have to do is get your swivel out. The reason you need a swivel is to keep your line from tangling. It makes a whole mess of tangling, so you have to have a swivel. You have to make this loop into a little loop and push it through the top of the swivel. This is also hard to do. I'm used to it. Once you get it through, you take this loop, bring it out around the swivel, and tighten it. Just tighten it down. Now that you got the swivel on, the next thing you want to do is put your hook on. Here's the hook. Now this is a snap swivel, so there's a little thing that you open, and it opens right here. And put the loop of the hook top right around that. Then you close the swivel. So far, that's about what I've gone through. About the hardest thing you have to do, and I've done it fast. The next thing you have to do, the third thing, is put 1 or 2 sinkers on. I like to put 2 sinkers on, because it keeps the line down. The purpose of putting sinkers on is to keep your line down in the water, so it's not bobbing up in the water. So screws go above the knot that you tie. The way to open them is there's two little levers you have to get up the key and open them. When you open, you just squeeze it shut around the line. That's one. Something. Last step you have to take is put your bait on it. I said it was live, but it really actually isn't live. I don't have a live bait right now. Here's the light plate. Black worm. The way to put a worm on your hook is to find the heart, which is the big thing. This big, whatever. No, it's a heart. And you stick it through the heart. Well, it might squirm a little bit. And come out through it. After you've done that, you're ready to fish. And go back like this. And cast it out. And if you don't catch anything, right now it's hooked on something. Now that I've shown you all the steps you need to line up your rod, you'll be able to do it next time you have to. So, next time you break your line off, you can remember these simple steps for doing this and get back to your fishing quickly.
Okay.
How many of you know that makeup is a multi-billion-dollar business? It is, and women are not the only buyers. Men also purchase makeup. The price on makeup varies. For example, Maybelline is relatively cheap and is found anywhere, whereas Mary Kay is expensive and is found only in specialty shops. But no matter what price you pay, if you don't know how to apply makeup safely and properly, you could cause damage. The first preparation in putting makeup on is washing your face. First, take a wet washcloth and wet the face. Then apply a cleaner as done Seaman. Never use soap because it'll dry out your face. Just round it on like this with your hand. And then take the washcloth and take it off gently. After that, you open the pores. So then you want to close the pores. You want to follow up by an astringent or an antiseptic. Antiseptic can be store-bought or homemade with lemon juice. They work the same. I'm showing you this daily cleaning. There's also a weekly cleaning, which consists of a facial and steaming. Now, after you have done the cleansing, you want to apply the basis. I'm using a liquid foundation. I'm going to blend this in. Colors you want to use. You want to keep in mind the season. In summer, you want to use cool, vibrant colors like pinks and purples. In the winter, you want to use more earthy tones like browns and dark greens. After you have determined your color, you want to apply the makeup. First, start with the eyes. You want to use eyeshadow. You want to put it on the lid and work up to the brow bone. After you've done that, you want to use an eyeliner. Now, most people think that you put it on right here, but you don't. You put it right where the eyelashes come out, so that you don't, in case you would happen to move, and then you close your eyes. And it's not good for it.
chip or your finger. After that, you want to apply mascara. Mascara comes in different kinds. There's kind for contact wearers, there's kinds colors, and ones to make your eyelashes longer. You just want to put this on gently so you don't get in your eye or on your eyelid. After you have done that, you want to apply the blush. You want to use a soft bristle brush. You want to take it from the brow and follow up the brow bone and into the hair. Because if you stop here, it'll look like you just started and forgot to stop. You want to go up here and then you just want to mix it in. And you want to do it to the other side too. After that, you want to continue with the lips. Now, you can use a lip foundation which smooths out the color and gives the true color of the lipstick, but it is optional. Lipstick comes in several kinds. There's the brush, which I'm going to use. There's a stick, and then there's the roll-on. You just slide it on. After you've done that, you want to smooth out your lips by going to and fro. Now that I've showed you safe and easy ways of applying makeup, I would hope you remember to use these 4 easy steps. 1, cleaning. 2, applying bases. 3, determining your color. And 4, the actual makeup.
I love the way your model sits spread eagle up there. I mean, that's just class all the way.
We've had the unique pleasure of watching our gourmet chef, Chef Paul, make banana split.
On a hot Sunday summer day, one of the most popular dishes at an ice cream parlor is a banana split. Have you ever made a banana split, or do you know how to make a banana split? I thought I knew how to make a banana split until I decided to demonstrate one for you. Because I thought all you had to do was take a banana and some ice cream and 1 or 2 toppings and put it together. But I was wrong. There's a lot of different toppings and a lot of different things you can use in a banana split. So today I'm going to demonstrate for you how to make a banana split. First, you'll need some utensils. You'll need a dish, about 3 spoons, a nice ice cream disc. And second, you will need your ingredients. You need ice cream, banana, and you need 3 toppings. I have strawberry, pineapple, and chocolate. really any flavor of ice cream you want to, but I prefer vanilla. But anything okay. Sometimes I have a little trouble getting out ice cream. It doesn't get exactly nice and round, but I guess that's okay. Then we need topping. Pineapple, you can, they don't really belong any specific place. You can put them on any place you want. Pineapple in the middle. And then strawberries. I don't know. Usually isn't supposed to do that, and usually doesn't. If you keep it more towards the middle of the bowl, it usually doesn't go out over the edge. But this is kind of messy to make, but usually doesn't happen. Alright. And then you pour some chocolate on the other piece of ice cream. Not too much, of course, but the other thing. Oh my gosh. Then, after this, you add the whipped cream. Oh. You put this a little bit on each top of what was supposed to be three things like this. Then, put on the last. Let's keep it wide open. This sometimes kind of complicated. It starts coming after a while.
Oh my.
That was an accident. You really don't need to put that on. Now, after you've got everything on, you top it with cherry. I put 3 on. Some people only put 1. I put 1 on each thing, on each scoop of ice cream. Today I'm only going to put 2 on. This is how you make a banana split. It usually isn't this messy. And, I hope by demonstrating how to make banana splits today, sometime over the summer when it's a hot, sunny day and you want something cool to eat, usually easy to eat, make, you think of a banana split and I hope you successfully make one. And remember the simple ingredients: 1 banana, ice cream, any flavor, 3 toppings, any flavor, some whipped cream, some nuts, and some cherries. And I hope you enjoy.
I think Amity holds on hire you, or Amity has gonna hire you right away.
I can't believe it. Well, okay, let's have...
Last but not least, the king of cooking cakes, Glenda.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to this episode of Glenda's Gourmet Goodies. Have you ever tasted flour, cocoa, vinegar,
Should I keep taping?
I looked over and I was like, no one can get out.
And here's Glenda. Let her calm down now.
Go.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this episode of Glenda's Gourmet Goodies. Today I would like to show you, well, you'll see what I have to show you. Have you ever tasted cocoa, oil, and yes, vinegar by itself? Yeah, right? Well, let's see what would happen if we mix them all together. Today I would like to show you how to turn some not so good ingredients into a luscious lucky chocolate cake and some delicious cream ice cream. The first step to making this delicious dessert is getting your ingredients together. You will need flour, sugar, oil, cocoa, soda, and vinegar. The next step is getting your ingredients. You will need a mixer, a hand mixer, 2 beaters, a wire whisk, a rubber spatula and regular spatula, and two mixing bowls and a pan. The next process in making this dessert is mixing it together. First, you add the dry. Okay. On your recipe that I've handed out to you, it says to add all the ingredients together. You can do this, but I'm going to add just the dry ingredients together, because if you do this, the chocolate doesn't get lumpy. So add the flour, the sugar, a teaspoon of soda.
Carrie Heimbaugh, please report to the office. Carrie Heimbaugh to the office.
Mix this with the wire whisk until everything is pretty well mixed in. Next, add your 5 tablespoons of oil. A tablespoon of vinegar. And a cup of water. Now, you have to mix it. Always put your beaters in your mixer first before you plug it in. Mix it until it is rather smooth.
Carrie Heimbaugh, please report to the office. Carrie Heimbaugh.
You put this, on your recipe it says an ungreased pan. I use a greased pan because it comes out better that way. After it gets fairly smooth, put it in your bowl. I'll need a spatula to clean it. Now, you'll put this in the oven for, on your recipe it also says 35 minutes, for 25 to 35 minutes. Next, you will start the icing. You'll add your flour and your water together. And mix this on the stove until it gets smooth and creamy. When it's done, it should look like this. If it's not creamy, your icing will not turn out creamy. Now you should have your beaters to get clean. You just have to use them for your icing. Oh, a cup of water. None of the chocolate goes into the icing so it's the same colors. Now mix this up until it's smooth and it should look like whipped cream. So get the cake out of the oven and let this set for about 10 minutes. For the purpose of not having much time, I won't be able to do that. So then loosen the edges after 10 minutes and whatever you're going to put it on the cake this way and then flip it and your cake should come out. Now, to layer it like I'm going to do today, cut through the sides all around until you have it all the way sliced through. You do not have to do the cake this way, you can just leave it in a rectangular pan and ice it if you'd like. Now, spread your hand and put it under and transfer that part of the cake to the center. Now, put some icing on the top of your cake and spread it out. You don't have to use much icing on this layer because you have 4 layers to go. Put the next layer on and do the same with this layer. Now put some globs of icing on the corners and ice down on the sides like this. Sorry. And you do this until the entire cake is covered. Hopefully, when your cake turns out, it won't look like this one. But hopefully, it will look more like this.
All right.
A few tips to annoy those you love most. The one and only, drum roll please. Here's your drum.
Well done, ladies.
Do you ever come home from school and just don't feel like talking? Your parents ask you 20 questions on how your day went? Do you ever feel like your entire future depends upon how you answer their questions? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I have some tips I think will help. No, they won't help you to keep out of trouble with your parents, but they will help you to annoy them. Today I'm going to show you how to annoy your parents by leaving the room while they are still talking in your normal tone, and deciding not to talk at all. The first technique I'm going to discuss is leaving the room while they are still talking. This always sends your parents into a crazy rage. Remember, they will threaten to smack you, but most of the time they do not. Now there's a certain way this has to be done. If it is not done correctly, you will probably not see the outside of the room for a few months. The first step in doing this is never interrupt them. You know, then you get that speech. You're supposed to respect your elders, not supposed to interrupt. So you don't want that speech. And second, don't look into their eyes. You see them turning red with anger and become too afraid to leave. And last, certainly not leave.
leave in the middle of their yelling fit. Leave in a pause in their statement. When you leave in a pause, they think that you thought they were done speaking, when in reality you knew they weren't. And the only reason they pause in their yelling fit is so they can think of something else to yell at you for, right? When you leave, don't just turn around and storm away. You just stand here, and you look at them, nod your head and turn around and walk away. Don't go running out, or they'll come running right after you. The next technique I'm going to discuss is talking in your normal tone. When you do this, they think you're being sarcastic because you're not yelling like they are and you're talking normally. This also has some wrong ways. Don't talk in that I'm better than you tone. You know you all use is that I'm better than you, I don't have to listen to you. Or I'll do that later, or I didn't do that. Don't talk like that because you'll get in trouble for that, trust me. And don't be mouthy. If there's one thing a parent cannot tolerate, it is a mouthy kid. I know that for a fact. And when you talk in your normal tone, you look at your parents and you say, yes, I will do that later. And no, I do not do that. Don't be mouthy about it, because you'll end up getting smacked across the face for it. When you talk in your normal tone, your parents realize that their yelling is having no effect, they stop yelling, save your breath. The last technique I'm going to discuss is ignoring them, or deciding not to talk at all. When you do this, they have to try to regain your attention. So when you know you're going to be yelled at, turn up the radio, and when you can't, you have to yell over the radio, which usually does not work. This also has the wrong way. Don't make it look like you're ignoring them intentionally. For example, don't look at your watch to see the time, or out the window at the birds, the ceiling, the wall, and at the floor. Take your nails, fiddle with the buttons, because then you'll get in trouble for not paying any attention. When you do just not listen to them, either stare at the television or look at one spot on the floor. And then they'll think you're listening, but in reality you're not. When you do ignore your parents, they have to try to regain your attention, and then they realize you rule the entire episode. That's how it should be, right? Now that I have shown you some quick and easy ways to annoy your parents, you are shown a happy life knowing you got the best of them. But remember, don't talk in that I'm better than you tone. But if you can, leave the room where they're still talking. Don't interrupt because you'll get in trouble for interrupting. Don't look into their eyes because you're soon turning red with anger and you become afraid to leave. And never leave in the middle of a sentence because you're supposed to respect your elders and pay attention. 2, talk in your normal tone, but don't be mouthy. There's one thing a parent cannot tolerate is a mouthy kid. And 3, decide not to talk at all. But don't make it look like you're ignoring them intentionally, because you'll get a long speech about ignoring them. Chances are, if you do these, they will realize that your yelling is having no effect, and they will stop their yelling. But there is that tiny possibility that you could get into more trouble than what you would originally. But if you're willing to take this chance, these tips do work. I've grown up watching 6 kids before me getting yelled at. No, I didn't laugh, I just watched. These techniques I learned from them. In a way, they made my life easier. And
now I'd like to introduce to you today the Moron Maker of the Month, Melissa Smith.
You're sitting at home watching your favorite TV show. It breaks the commercial where delicious chocolate treats parade before your eyes. You feel a sudden attack of uncontrollable chocolate cravings coming on. You think, oh no, what am I going to do? Go to Turkey Hill and get a candy bar? But you can't do that because it's too cold outside. Think, I know, I'll bake chocolate chip cookies, but you forgot momentarily that you hate baking. Well, dun-dun-dun, here I come to save the day. No baked chocolate cookies. And not only are they quick and easy to make, but they are also nutritious. Now, when you're making your no-bake cookies, the first thing you're going to need are your utensils. You're going to need your measuring cup, liquid, and dry ingredients. You're going to need a wooden spoon, spatula, tablespoon, cookie sheet, wax paper, pan, and stove, which I'm sure y'all have. And okay, after you have your utensils, you're going to need your ingredients. They are 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of quick oatmeal, has to be quick, half a cup of coconut,
take your butter and your cocoa, the milk, the margarine, the butter, the cocoa, and sugar. Mix it together in the pan. Okay, you can cut up the butter so it melts quicker. You need the cocoa. I already have mine measured out, save time. Your sugar, 2 cups, and your half cup of milk. Okay, after you have all that together, you have to stir it, mix it together. You have to stir until the butter's melted and all your ingredients are mixed together thoroughly. It usually takes 4 to 5 minutes for it to melt and everything. If your stove is hot enough. Okay, while you're mixing, you gotta make sure that your cocoa is dissolved because you can't have clumps of cocoa because it really tastes bad when you bite into it. So, it usually takes a while. You have to keep stirring so that the butter melts throughout the whole mixture. And if you want, while you're doing this, if you're talented enough, you can get your wax paper, put it on your cookie sheet, but I already did that because I'm not that good of a cook. But okay, the butter's starting to melt, so I don't know. It's a little longer. Now you can get your oatmeal and stuff ready. It's pretty easy. I already have mine here. And the butter, when it's melting, it like floats to the top and it looks like yellow swirls, but that'll go away. And after your butter's melted and everything, you have to bring it to a boil. And after it starts boiling, you have to let it boil for 1 minute. So don't take it off once it starts boiling and think it's done. What? Butter isn't melted yet. And you can cut up the butter while you're stirring it so it melts quicker. It usually works. Alright. Butter's melted now. You have to wait for it to boil. So and if you don't want to have to work at getting the clumps to come out of the cocoa, you can sift it in a sifter before you put it in. That's what I did. You can stop stirring for a while, but you have to stir every once in a while because if you don't, the sugar will burn and stick to the pan. And your cookies won't really taste that great. So, alright. Now, after it boils, you turn off your fire. Take the pan, remove it from the stove, set it on a hot pad or whatever. And take your peanut butter, half a cup of peanut butter, put it in chocolate mixture. You have to stir your peanut butter until it completely melts. And the nuts usually, it has to be, the peanut butter is already melted. So you take your oatmeal, that's 3 cups of oatmeal, and you put a little oatmeal in. And a little coconut. And you put them in, you alternate between the coconut and the oatmeal. It calls for 3 cups, but sometimes it's too much and it makes them too dry, so you can use 2.5 or just not that much less.
covered by the chocolate mixture. Open some more oatmeal. And after you put about 2 cups of the oatmeal and it starts to get where it's harder to mix it in, so you have to stir it more to get it all mixed in thoroughly. And after you have all your oatmeal mixed in and your coconut, you can get your cookie sheet and put the wax paper on if you haven't done it already. Take your tablespoon. The batter to mix it should look like this. Kind of looks disgusting, but you take a tablespoon of the batter and you kind of you round it on the spoon. You drop it on this cookie sheet. And you gotta pat it out a little bit so they're not real thick. You get some more. Drop that on you gotta drop them on an inch away from each other or else they, I don't know, grow together. I usually put 3 on a line across the cookie sheet the short way and there's 4 rows going down the whole cookie sheet. After you put your cookies on the cookie sheet, it should look like this, except all the way down the cookie sheet. Okay, and then you put it in the refrigerator or you can set it on the counter. It's really, can't wait to eat them. I guess you could put the batter on a plate and eat it if you're that desperate. But you should wait till they're firm before you eat them. And then, when they're done, they should look like this, hardened. So they aren't really gooey when you pick them up and you don't get them all over your furniture and your parents have a fit. Okay. Now that I've shown you through my very good demonstration how to make no-bake cookies, next time you're sitting watching TV and you go into a chocolate frenzy, you'll know what to do.
Great speech. On giving speeches, the most famous person on speeches, more famous than Leo Biscaglia, Jeanette Buck.
She can't come. We just received some news that she is here. She can do a speech.
Jeanette Buck.
Yay!
Have you ever been up in front of your communications class speaking or reading out of a book or something, and your teacher all of a sudden says, out of the blue, stop, we're back to the beginning, it's totally wrong, you're not doing it right, it's terrible. Or, after you've given a speech or something, you get your constructive criticism statement back, and it says, oh, you were talking too fast, not enough eye contact, or you were rocking the podium or something. Well, if you'd answered yes to either one of these, I suggest you pay attention to my speech closely, because it'll help a lot in giving a speech. So today I'm going to demonstrate to you some of the basic delivery techniques that can enhance any type of speech and everyday speaking. Well, the first and most important delivery technique is good eye contact. In order to have good eye contact, you must look at both sides of the room. Okay, and you don't use a set pattern, because if you use a set pattern, then people begin to look like side, begin to look like a clock. And I don't know, some people get up here and they body, look over. Some other people, they stay up here and read right off and do not look up at all. And like I'm doing now. But in order to have good eye contact, you must avoid
staring. You shouldn't stare at anything or anyone. You know, you have to look everywhere. That's why, you know. But, okay, anyway. The second delivery technique is good voice control. You must always have good voice control. You should be loud, prominent, and project your voice so everyone can hear you. And in order to have good voice control, for one thing, you must know what you're going to say. If you don't know what you're going to say, you're going to stand up here and go, well, let's see, I don't know. Or you stand up here, and some people stand up here and they read in a monotone voice, and they don't bring anything across. It's just boring and plain and just there. And other people get up here and they start reading, and it's just like their mouth is going 50 miles an hour and they never stop. It just keeps going. And other people just stand up here and they just mumble, you know, blah, 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 blah. And you can't understand what they're saying. And there's no point in it because you never hear what they say, so why listen? And in the class, they don't listen. Other people, they whisper. You can't hear them, so. And, well, anyway. The next technique is body gestures. I mean, if you're trying to make a point or something, you know, you stand up here and you just, like, point your finger. Or when you're mad, I mean, you're not going to stand up here and say, well, this is how it is and everything else. You're going to stand up here and pound on the podium. You're mad. Put some feeling into what you're doing. It adds, lightens your speech up a little bit instead of just standing up here and just looking at both sides of the room and saying what you want to say. It just adds color, well, not really color, but feeling to what you're saying. And some people stand up here and they think they're making gestures or whatever, and like leaning on the podium, yelling at you or whatever, and they're rocking the podium and everything else, and shaking of head. I mean, that's, some people like say, okay, they're making like a negative gesture, negative point. They stand up here and they shake their head when they're talking, and that becomes very annoying because you're sitting there watching them, and all of a sudden you start to feel like you're shaking your head yourself, trying to watch them. And that becomes very annoying. And then, like I was just saying recently, the shifting of feet and like moving around, you know, you feel like you're watching them, and it's like, are they up there dancing or what? You know, rocking around and everything else, not standing still. That becomes very annoying, very annoying. And finally, when you're giving a speech, you must have good support. I mean, if you don't have good support, then what's the reason of giving a speech? There's nothing there. If you don't have anything worthwhile to say, then why say it? So, and also, you must have good detail. I mean, detail livens the speech, and it also helps to back up what you're trying to make a point of, or whatever. And some people get up here and they have their topic and everything, and they don't know what they're going to say. They have their topic, but they don't have anything behind it, or anything to back it up, or anything else, and they stand up here, well, let's see, well, let me think a minute, well, I don't know, well, and they just go on, and the whole speech is dragged out of, well, I don't know. And that's pretty boring. It makes the speech very bad. And it doesn't work well. So, now that I have shown you some of the delivery techniques, the rights and wrongs of them, I hope you will use them wisely. I know I've tried, sort of. And it doesn't always work, because when you get up here, you know, you're nervous. And you try hard, but anyway. If you haven't been paying attention, I'm going to tell you, anyways, what they were to review. Okay. First, you always have good eye contact, or else, I mean,
when you're talking to someone, you at least, when you're talking to someone, if they don't look at you, you think they're not paying attention. So, I mean, look at someone when they're talking to you, or when you're talking to them, or else they're paying attention to you. And good voice control to make a point, so everyone can hear you. 3, body gestures to also make a point and liven up the speech a little bit. And 4, good detail to make up your speech and make it what it is. Make sure you remember these 4 techniques the next time you have to give a speech.
May I have your attention, please? I'd like to make
It
it
will
out
make your
a couple
speech
minutes early
much more
today.
better.
Yeah!
Woo!
Alright, we'd like to really get down right now and sing a real rock and roll old-time blues song. So you ready, fellas? Ready, fellas? Alright.
On the day I was born, the nurses all gathered around. Look at the wild wonder at the joy. It says, leave this one alone. Boom, bad. What's wrong with this dog? I kept on the green light. Oh, it's on. Bad to the bone. I broke 1,000 hearts before I met you. I'll break 1,000 more, baby. Before I'm through. I want to be yours, pretty baby. Yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone. Oh, bad. Oh, bad. Oh, bad. Bad to the bone. I make a rich woman beg, and a good woman steal, make an old woman blush, and a young girl squeal. I'm here to tell you, honey. You right. Oh, you see, I make my own. I'm here to tell you, baby, that I'm bad to the bone. I'm bad to the bone. Oh, bad. Oh, bad. Oh, bad. Bad to the bone. Yeah. Now when I walk the streets, kings and queens step aside. Every woman I meet, for her.
They don't stay satisfied.
I want to be yours, pretty baby. Yours to yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Boo, bad. Boo, bad. Boo, bad. Bad to the bone.
3 is skateboarding tricks is Mr. Mike Greenson.
All right.
Alright, have you ever been in town to see a skateboarder effortlessly fly into the air and land on top of a curb? Many people put skaters down saying it's dumb and anybody can do it, but they do not realize that it requires talent and coordination. Alright, so today I'm going to demonstrate to you 3 tricks in skateboarding. An ollie, a kickflip, and a knuckle fly to shift beat. The first trick I should demonstrate to you is a kickflip. This is the main trick in skateboarding. Or an ollie. This is the main trick in skateboarding. Alright, first you stay on the board while it's moving. You place your front foot right about there and place your back foot on the kicktail. You push down with the back foot and come up with your front foot, slide your front foot forward and level out in the air and then land. And also demonstrate this for you now.
Yeah!
That's enough. This trick can be used for many things. You can ollie up onto a curb or just ollie over things to get away. Right. Second trick I shall demonstrate for you today is the kickflip. Right. First, you stand on your board while it's moving. You place your front foot right about here, underneath your trunk post. Your back foot the opposite corner. You push down with your back foot and push out with your front foot, making the board turn in a sideways flip. And then when it completes one circle, you place your feet back on and land. Right? That's what I'm going to do for you. And finally, last trick I should demonstrate for you is the knuckle five shifty. This is the hardest of the three. Right. You place your back foot on the tail while you're moving. Place your front foot right about here. And then you push down the tail and take your front foot off, causing the board, and push with your back foot, causing the board to go in between your legs. Then you land on your back two wheels, and then you turn around another 180 degrees, and you push down your front, and you ride away. Okay. These are three basic tricks of skateboarding. Now that I've shown you three tricks in skateboarding, you realize that it is a sport. The tricks that I've shown you are an ollie, kickflip, and a no-fly shift. So next time you're in town and you see a skateboarder, remember that it's not as easy as it looks. It does require discipline and coordination.
Michael, show me an ollie again. I missed it because I was watching MB do something.
There it is.
I missed it again.
I was directing traffic, Michelle.
That's good. All right. The pusher!
Big.
They actually paid me this.
Yay! Woo!
Gnarly!
Have you ever been in the grocery store and gone to pick up a bag of your favorite cookies and wondered what they were made of? Well, some of the preservatives and stuff that they put in them aren't very good for you. I can teach you how to make cookies, your own cookies, that taste just as good, or if not even better. It won't be using all the ingredients, harmful ingredients they use. Making cookies can be a lot of fun, and it can be, and also make, you want fluffy. Alright. First thing you need to do is get out all your utensils you will need to make cookies. You need a sifter, bowls for mixing and pouring stuff into. You need a mixer, and you need containers to contain your stuff. And then you need your rubber scraper and your paint stirrer and a spatula when you measure the ingredients, which I already have measured them. Next, you need the ingredients that you will need to make the cookies. You have your flour and your chocolate chips. You have your butter, your eggs, your sugar, brown and white. You have your salt and baking soda. Now that you have done all this, you are ready to actually make the cookies. The first thing you do is sift the dry ingredients together. That would be the flour, and and you also need your baking soda and your salt. And salt. After you get them all in there, you would use a spoon of some kind and just stick them down into the bowl so that they keep stirring until most of it or all of it is down there. It usually doesn't take too long. Then you set that aside. And after that, you mix the other ingredients. You put in the softened butter. You get it out. Sugars and vanilla. And then to start making your batter. now that you have all these ingredients in the bowl, you would use the mixer and cream. Mix them up until it is creamy. Starts out looking like little lumps of sugar, but as you keep mixing it, it looks more and more like cookie batter. Right now, it doesn't look that good, but it will when you keep going. Then you add your egg, and you mix it up some more to blend the egg into the batter. Now it looks like a mess. After you're done with that, you would add your chocolate chips. Pour them in and mix them up. You can stir them in by hand, or you can use the mixer. Stir around to evenly spread them through the batter. And after that's done, it should look something like this. And from here, you scoop it out with a spoon onto a cookie tray. Keeping them apart, I usually put 3 across in a row. Fall on the tray. And you do that until you fill up the tray. And once the tray is full, you can put it in the oven. And when they come out, they should look sort of like this. They should stick to the tray. And after you pull them out, you would put them down, and you would immediately take them off the tray, and put them on a paper towel or some kind of absorbent cloth so that they could dry. And all you have to do then is just let them cool, and they're ready to eat. Now that you have actually made all your cookies, you can make them anytime you feel like it. You can, next time you're in a grocery store and ready to pick out a bag of your favorite cookies, just remember that you can probably make them yourself better and quicker. And, well, not quicker, but cheaper.
I'd like to introduce to you Sherry Tanner, who's going to show us how to make cheesecake.
Have you ever been at home bored and you wanted a delicious snack? You went to your cupboard and there wasn't much there. Well, I'm going to show you how to make a cheesecake that doesn't take much ingredients. First, you'll need your lemon juice, cream cheese, Eagle Preserve condensed milk that's sweetened, vanilla, cherries that are already chilled, usually it's Tyson, and a crust. You can make your own or you can buy it at a store. Okay, first, take your cream cheese and get it out of the package. I soften this while it's at home. It has to be soft or it'll be lumpy. You need a fork to soften it. So it's once it's softened, you pour in the condensed milk. you gotta mix that really good or it'll turn out awful. It's gonna take a while. If you're gonna make your own crust, you need 12 graham crackers and a half a cup of melted butter. Combine the graham crackers and the butter and press them to the bottom of the pan. Combine this. Combine this a little bit. And get your lemon juice. You need a half cup of lemon juice. Pour that in. Stir it. It's so thick. And your vanilla, your teaspoon of vanilla, and cap works perfect. Mix that together and pour it in your pie crust. And then you gotta chill it for 3 hours so it can get hard. Then you put your cherries on top. So I have enough here for both pies, so I will use half. Make sure they're even. So they don't sink into the pie. I don't have enough of this. And then it's ready to serve. Ready to cherry cheesecake. The next time you want a cheesecake, just remember this and I'll pass out the instructions and recipe.
They're turned off on one break.
Kelly Snyder making movie pies.
It's like Russell's imagination. Okay.
Have you ever been hungry for something really different and you didn't know what to make? Or have you ever wanted to give a really different birthday or Christmas present to someone who has everything? Well, I have a solution for both causes. Whoopie pies. Making whoopie pies can be very easy and rewarding if you follow the simple recipe. First, you gather all your ingredients. You'll need soured milk, which we'll make by adding vinegar to your milk, a cup of sugar and half a cup of cocoa, 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and 4 teaspoons salt, half a cup of Crisco for the cookie and half a cup for the ice cream, 1 egg and 1 egg yolk, 2 cups of 10x sugar, 1 egg white, 2 tablespoons flour, and a half a teaspoon vanilla. First, you have to sour your milk. You can let your milk sit out overnight, or you can add vinegar. Fill your half a cup almost to the top, and then fill it completely to the top with vinegar. You do this first so that it can get curdy. Next, you put all your ingredients for the cookie into one bowl. Baking powder and baking soda, and you put a cup of flour. 2 cups of flour. Put your cup of sugar and half a cup of cocoa. And 1 full egg and 1 egg yolk. You'll also add half a cup of Crisco.
make sure that everything's mixed in well. After this, you'll have to add a half a cup of very hot water. Something will get it from it. It's very hot. Then add your curdled milk. Mix this all. About halfway through, stop and wipe around the edges of your bowl to make sure that nothing sticks. And mix again. When all this is done, it should look something. It should look something like this. Next, you'll take and drop a spoonful of this batter on the cookie sheet and bake for 400 degrees for 8 or 9 minutes. These won't spread out very much, so you can put up to 15 on a tray. And put this in the oven. While these are baking, you have to make the icing for the center of it. To make the icing, you put all your ingredients except for your sugar in a bowl. 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 egg white, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and a tablespoon of milk, and a half a cup of butter. You only put 2 teaspoons of sugar in to start. So just pour a little bit in. Next, you'll beat this until it's creamy. Making sure that everything's mixed. After this is creamy, add the rest of your sugar. And mix this in too. Making sure that you don't let any of the sides or bottom make flour. When you're done, it should look something like this. By then, your cookies should be done, and you'll take them out of the oven, match up 2 pairs, and spread the filling in between them. When you're done, it should look something like this.
followed my recipe, making whoopie pies should be very easy. And I will now hand out a recipe for you.
Stop what you're doing. Everyone feel your faces. Some of you feel greasy film on your cheek, nose, or forehead, or little bumps on your cheek, or if you look in the mirror, you see flakes. How many of you would love to have a perfect complexion? Well, I can't exactly promise it, but creating your own natural facial mask can be an fun and easy way to pamper yourself with little effort or cost. First, you have to decide what kind of mask you need. Just feel your face, feel slime or grease, like on your forehead, nose, or chin. Feel combination skin. If you don't feel anything really, you probably have normal or dry. If you're oily all over, then you have oily skin. Now that you've decided what kind of facial mask you need, you should choose which kind you want. Would you pass this out, please? First of all, I'm going to put a oily facial mask on Philip. I prepared this ahead of time. It's oatmeal and lemon juice. To apply facial mask, you should go up and down. To follow this natural orientation. And around the eyes, you should use your fingertips for the delicate eye area. Application is really more than just puffing it on your face. You should try to do it properly. It's difficult when it's too dry. Dry facial mask, okay. Now I'm going to prepare an oily facial mask. First, it's dry. First, I'm going to do the honey and egg. You take the yolk of an egg and 1 tablespoon of honey. Mix it thoroughly. You should leave the facial mask on for 10 to 15 minutes. Be careful not to get it in the eyes or burn. I'm not going to leave them on for 10 to 15 minutes because we don't have enough time. But next to the removal, well, finally the removal and the result. You take a hot washcloth, wet hot washcloth, place it on your face for like a minute. Maybe try to work it off. It's not coming off. We'll work on it later. See that? Now that you've opened your pores with the facial mask, you should close them. Well, pat dry. You should close them with a cold washcloth. Beauty's own skin deep, but why be beautiful on the inside, come out on the outside. Following my instructions and what you've learned today,